Welcome back, listeners, to our scary stories. Do you feel that slight tingle on your skin? That sense of being watched? Well, tonight, you are not alone. We'll be venturing into a tale that blurs the line between our humble world and the infinite expanse of the cosmos. Prepare yourself for cosmic echoes, stellar Intrusion II. This is the second part to a story where the tranquil life of a small town unravels under the echo of celestial whispers. Prepare for an encounter with the unknown. Underneath the black velvet canvas of cosmos, pierced by thousands of shining celestial needles, the stellar gate glistened. Its undulating curves echoed an otherworldly beauty, a silent sentinel bridging two vastly different realms. The investigators, Dr. Lawson, Sam, Rose, and the young girl Clara stood before it, their faces reflecting a cocktail of awe, uncertainty, and determination. Clara, her heart pounding against her rib cage like a frantic drum, stepped forward. She felt the cold hum of the stellar gate whispering through her veins, a tangible shiver running down her spine. The psychic connection, once an unfathomable terror, had now evolved into a constant, albeit strange, companion. Clara. A voice echoed in her mind, ethereal and distant, yet laden with an unspoken urgency. It was the alien leader reaching out to her from across the chasm of stars and galaxies. Images flooded Clara's mind, foreign yet eerily familiar. A sprawling civilization of towering crystal structures and intricate cosmic tapestries. Beings of radiant energy, their forms constantly in flux. A brilliant sun-going supernova, bathing their home planet in a deadly radiance. Clara felt their despair, their fear, their desperate cry for survival. "We, Newt, help!" The voice echoed, and Clara felt a tug of empathy. These weren't conquerors. They were refugees. Around Clara, the investigation team watched in silence, their faces mirroring their shared uncertainty. Dr. Lawson, his usually bright eyes clouded with worry, was the first to break the silence. "Can we help them, Clara? Is there a way?" he asked, his voice wavering. Clara turned towards them, her face a canvas of conflicting emotions. I think we have no choice but to try," she replied, her voice barely a whisper against the symphony of cosmic whispers. As the last echoes of her words faded, they were left staring at the stellar gate. It seemed to shimmer even brighter, as if reflecting the enormity of the task that lay ahead of them. But beneath the trepidation, a spark of hope flickered in their hearts. After all, they had touched the stars and lived to tell the tale. How much more impossible could this new mission be? Astoria was just as they had left it, a quaint, peaceful town nestled against the forest's edge, oblivious to the cosmic revelations its inhabitants had recently been privy to. The team's return to Earth was a jarring transition, like waking from a dream too strange and vast to fully comprehend. Their car pulled into the familiar gravel driveway of Dr. Lawson's home, the tires crunching a rhythm that echoed their collective anxiety. Stepping out, they were greeted by the cool, crisp air of the early dawn, the sky painted with hues of orange and pink. Yet, this natural beauty felt strangely alien after their stellar excursion. Back in her home, Clara found the normalcy unsettling. The scent of freshly brewed coffee, the homely crackle of the radio. Her own bedroom now seemed part of a life she no longer fully belonged to. She tried to focus on the world around her, but her mind was always half lost in the echoes of the alien voices, their desperation a haunting lullaby. Sam and Rose returned to their day jobs, their eyes meeting over the counter at the town's local diner, sharing a secret too large for words. Their familiar banter now carried undertones of the unknown, of whispered confidences, and an inexplicable bond formed in the heart of the cosmos. Dr. Lawson immersed himself in his research, his gaze often drifting to the stellar gate's intricate miniature model on his desk. The endless calculations, theories, and algorithms were his shield against the overwhelming reality of their predicament. The investigators faced a paradoxical struggle, being physically present on Earth while a part of their consciousness was tethered to an alien world on the brink of annihilation. As the days passed, the weight of their secret grew heavier, bearing down on them like an invisible storm cloud. Astoria, a town of simple pleasures and simpler concerns, continued its tranquil rhythm. Yet, its very peace felt like a facade, a ticking clock counting down the moments before their normalcy would be shattered. Clara, standing before her window, gazed at the tranquil town with new eyes. She felt a surge of protectiveness for her home, for these unsuspecting townsfolk. and a renewed determination to fulfill the mission entrusted to them by the alien refugees. Silently, they each grappled with the alien voices that echoed in their minds, a celestial plea that had turned their world on its axis. Little did they know that the coming days would hold even stranger occurrences, the Stellar Gate beginning to reveal its influence on the town of Astoria. Clara, now more attuned to the alien voices, began her voyage into an alien history etched in cosmic light. As days turned into nights and back again, the psychic link strengthened, no longer a mere conduit but more of a symbiotic connection. Through it, Clara became a silent observer of a world defined by a blend of advanced science and spiritual harmony, a society where luminous energy beings danced in the rhythm of pulsating galaxies. Vivid images filled her mind, stunning crystal edifices reflecting brilliant nebulae, cities structured like geometric kaleidoscopes, radiating energy beings celebrating life under different constellations. Their music was the harmonious echo of cosmic vibrations, their laughter a constellation of shooting stars. She saw their families, their joy, and their unity, witnessing the depth of their culture and the richness of their shared history. She felt their connection to their dying star, a relationship more profound than any terrestrial equivalent, closer to a familial bond than that of celestial bodies. Clara came to understand the inevitability of their calamity, and the profound sadness it bore. Their son, once the lifeline and deity of their civilization, was now a ticking time bomb about to annihilate their very existence. In the stillness of her room, Clara trembled under the weight of this alien knowledge, a silent tear tracing its way down her cheek. She felt their hope diminishing, the hourglass of their civilization emptying bit by bit. Their strength lay in their unity, but it was a unity shadowed by a collective, looming dread. They did not fear death, but the loss of their culture, their history, their collective memory was a catastrophe too great to bear. Meanwhile, in their separate corners of Astoria, the investigators watched Clara's transformation with a growing mix of awe and concern. They saw her eyes cloud over with distant visions, her body swaying as if carried by an unseen current. Her usual chatter was replaced by silent murmurs and hushed whispers, the names of alien places and celestial events falling from her lips. The psychic connection had become a double-edged sword. It was their lifeline to the alien world, yet it was also a path for Clara into an alien existence, a journey that seemed to pull her further away from them each day. Their task at hand was to save a world, but they couldn't help but wonder if, in the process, they would lose Clara to the cosmos. Astoria, once a beacon of peaceful normalcy, was beginning to unravel at the edges. An eerie hush fell over the town, broken by the occasional rustle of leaves or a distant dog's bark. The citizens of Astoria had started to notice unusual phenomena, strange energy surges, unusual weather patterns, even wild animals acting peculiarly. The townsfolk gathered at the local diner, whispering about the peculiar happenings. Sam and Rose overheard fragments of conversations, theories of government experiments, speculations about unexplained natural phenomena, even whispers of a curse on the town. The Stellar Gate's presence on Earth was becoming increasingly noticeable. Unbeknownst to the townsfolk, the gate was subtly influencing the local spatial fabric, creating ripples of energy that were beginning to surface as unexplained phenomena. The investigators met at Dr. Lawson's house, the room heavy with unspoken concerns. The map of Astoria spread across the table looked more like a battleground now, pinned with areas of unusual activity. They needed to decide if they should reveal their secret to the town, a decision that felt as precarious as a tightrope walk above a chasm. "We have to tell them," Sam argued, his fingers tracing the map's edges. "It's not fair to keep them in the dark. But the panic it could cause. Is Astoria ready to accept the existence of extraterrestrial life?" Dr. Lawson countered, his gaze worried. Each knew that this secret was a ticking time bomb, their silence a dam holding back a flood of chaos. The room hummed with the tension of their indecision, the chime of the grandfather clock marking time like a solemn judge. In her room, Clara felt the turmoil in Astoria, the creeping fear that wrapped around each heart like a chilling mist. She could feel the Stellar Gate's energy bleeding into the town. Her gaze fell on her little town model, every street and house now a symbol of their collective ignorance. Will the truth set us free or break us? She wondered, her fingers lightly brushing over the model. The answer seemed as elusive as the distant stars twinkling outside her window. As the night deepened, the investigators knew they were teetering on the precipice of an irrevocable choice, to shatter the silence or to continue their solitary vigil under the ever-watchful stellar gate. Clara awoke to an unusual chill, her breath forming icy clouds in her room. She pulled back the curtain to reveal a sight that stole her breath away. Astoria was engulfed in an ethereal mist, an iridescent fog that turned the familiar town into a landscape from a dream. This wasn't a regular mist. It shimmered with a strange luminescence, a ghostly aura that swirled around the buildings and through the streets. The alien energy had started to manifest itself more dramatically, warping the very weather of Astoria. The news spread quickly, adding to the growing unease in the town. The school was cancelled, businesses closed, and the townsfolk huddled in their homes, their faces pressed against windows as they watched the mist move with an otherworldly grace. A council meeting was called at the town hall. Dr. Lawson, Sam, and Rose, their identities as investigators still unknown to the townsfolk, attended the meeting, their hearts pounding in their chests. The time had come to make a choice, to reveal the truth, or to keep guarding their secret. Mayor Harris, an affable middle-aged woman, stood at the head of the room, trying to assuage the worried crowd. "We will get to the bottom of this," she assured them, her voice strong but her eyes betraying her uncertainty. In the back of the room, Clara stood quietly, her mind filled with the echo of alien pleas. She was torn between her allegiance to the investigators and her duty to her fellow townsfolk. The room was heavy with hushed whispers and anxious glances. A decision had to be made, and soon. As Clara looked at the worried faces around her, she felt an overpowering surge of responsibility. They deserved to know the truth. She could no longer bear to watch her beloved Astoria succumb to fear of the unknown. "Mayor Harris, I have something to say," Clara's voice rang out, cutting through the murmurs. All eyes turned towards her, including those of Dr. Lawson, Sam, and Rose. This was the moment of truth. As Clara took a deep breath, ready to reveal their cosmic secret, the town of Astoria held its collective breath, unaware of the earth-shattering revelation about to unfold. As Clara's voice rang out, a hush descended upon the room. The townsfolk turned to face her, curiosity and concern etched on their faces. In the back, Dr. Lawson, Sam, and Rose exchanged a glance, their hearts heavy with anticipation and fear. Clara, their young beacon of alien communication, was about to shift the reality of Astoria forever. Her heart pounding like a drum in her chest, Clara stood before her fellow townsfolk. She took a deep breath, her gaze falling upon each familiar face. "Astoria," she began, her voice surprisingly steady, "we are not alone." The room fell silent, the echo of her words reverberating through the air. She spoke of the meteor shower, the stellar gate, and the desperate plea from a dying alien civilization. She shared their quest to save a world beyond the stars, to prevent a catastrophe that could rip through the dimensions and endanger Earth. As her tale unfolded, the townsfolk watched Clara, their expressions shifting from shock to disbelief, then slowly to awe and apprehension. The idea of extraterrestrial life, once confined to the realms of science fiction, was suddenly a tangible reality. The silence that followed Clara's revelation was deafening. The townsfolk stared at Clara, their minds struggling to comprehend the enormity of her words. And then, like the dam breaking, the room erupted in a flurry of voices, a whirlwind of questions, fear, anger, and disbelief. Mayor Harris called for order, her eyes wide with shock, struggling to find the right words. Among the turmoil, Sam, Rose, and Dr. Lawson stepped forward, lending their voices to Clara's. They corroborated her story, spoke of their shared experiences, and their determination to protect Astoria from any potential threat. The revelation was like a stone thrown into the quiet pond of Astoria's existence, the ripples of its impact spreading wide and fast. The town was left grappling with the cosmic reality unveiled to them, their tranquil lives now tethered to an interdimensional crisis. As Astoria spiraled into this new reality, the team of investigators stood unified, ready to face the storm they had unleashed. The aftermath of the revelation felt like a surreal dream to the people of Astoria. The streets echoed with hushed whispers and anxious conversations, the reality of a cosmic crisis slowly sinking into their collective consciousness. Fear and uncertainty had cast a shadow on the once peaceful town, but beneath it sparked a resilience that was uniquely human. Dr. Lawson, Clara, Sam, and Rose found themselves at the heart of this storm, their roles as guardians of this secret now open for all to see. Clara, in particular, bore the brunt of this shift. The young girl who had once been a cherished member of the community was now seen as the messenger of an alien civilization. The town's fear and awe towards Clara were understandable, but underlying it all was a sense of trust, built over years of shared experiences and collective memory. Clara's revelation had rattled Astoria's foundation, but it had not broken the bonds of their close-knit community. The days that followed were filled with town hall meetings, educational sessions, and strategy discussions. The investigators worked alongside the townsfolk to understand the alien messages better, deciphering the Stellar Gate's mechanism, and formulating a plan to prevent the catastrophe. Dr. Lawson used his scientific acumen to explain the cosmic crisis in simple terms, easing the town's fears and fostering a sense of collective responsibility. Sam, with his analytical mind, coordinated the efforts, organizing teams, and ensuring smooth communication between all parties. Rose became the bridge between Clara and the town, interpreting her visions and translating them into actionable information. In her room, Clara's connection with the alien civilization deepened. She experienced their life with even more vividness, their joys, their fears, their desperation as the dying star continued to flicker ominously. The urgency of their situation became her own, the bond of shared knowledge creating a strange kinship between a human girl and an alien civilization. Astoria stood on the precipice of an existential crisis, their fate entwined with that of an alien civilization. Yet, instead of succumbing to fear and paranoia, they stood united, their unity a beacon of hope amidst the storm of uncertainties. Their town had transformed into a hub of interdimensional communication, each citizen a willing participant in a cosmic effort to save lives beyond the stars. United they stood, their hearts brave and their spirits indomitable. The routine of life in Astoria transformed into a shared mission. Amidst their ordinary duties of school, work, and home, the townsfolk found themselves participating in the extraordinary task of preventing a cosmic catastrophe. Their roles varied. Some were tasked with interpreting the meteorological changes brought about by the Stellar Gate, while others served as liaisons between Clara and the rest of the town, relaying the alien messages and the knowledge gleaned from them. Dr. Lawson established a makeshift laboratory in the basement of his house, where the intricate mechanisms of the Stellar Gate were dissected and studied. The once tranquil town had become a hotbed of cosmic understanding, a microcosm reflecting the macrocosm they sought to save. Clara's visions were now an accepted part of daily life. The townsfolk eagerly awaited her latest insights, the cryptic messages a source of knowledge and guidance for their shared cause. Every message, every vision was another piece of the puzzle, bringing them closer to understanding the Stellar Gate's workings and the dying star's impending fate. In this new rhythm of existence, Astoria found unity and purpose. The initial fear had faded, replaced by determination and camaraderie. Children turned the cosmic crisis into playground games, adults pondered over the alien messages at the dinner table, and the elderly shared stories of resilience and survival, their wisdom fortifying the collective spirit. The ethereal mist that had once caused fear now danced around the town in a beautiful, albeit eerie, ballet. It was a constant reminder of their connection to the cosmos, a symbol of the alien energy intertwining with their daily lives. This was their reality now. Their small town was no longer just a dot on Earth's map, but a crucial player in the vast cosmic stage. As the days turned into weeks, Astoria, its every resident a cog in this cosmic wheel, worked tirelessly, racing against the dying alien star's flickering light. The clockwork of the cosmos waited for no one, and they were a part of it now, their collective heartbeats ticking in harmony with the universe's grand rhythm. Time was a relentless force, and despite the united efforts of Astoria, the deadline set by the dying star was closing in. Clara's visions grew more urgent, the alien pleas more desperate, their celestial reality mirrored in her troubled dreams. The ethereal mist around the town seemed to pulse with an ominous energy, its eerie luminescence flickering in tune with the distress signals. Dr. Lawson, Rose, and Sam worked relentlessly, their exhaustion overshadowed by their determination. Yet, despite their best efforts, the final piece of the puzzle eluded them. The key to activating the Stellar Gate, the means to channel the rescue mission, remained an enigma. The town's spirit was wearing thin, fear and uncertainty sneaking back into their hearts. The once bustling streets grew quieter, conversations sobered, and the bonds of hope started to waver. Astoria was nearing its breaking point. Clara, amidst the mounting pressure, found herself at the center of this storm. She felt the weight of the impending doom, a cosmic burden that hung heavy on her young shoulders. The fear and anticipation in the eyes of the townsfolk, their silent prayers, their whispered worries, they all converged on Clara. Yet she stood firm. Despite the fear, despite the pressure, Clara's resolve didn't waver. She was the conduit, the bridge between two civilizations on the brink of a catastrophe. The sense of responsibility fueled her determination. In the silence of her room, Clara reached out to the alien civilization, her mind extending across the cosmos. She pleaded with them, a desperate bid for the final piece of information they needed. She could sense their distress, their desperation matching her own, their energies intertwining in a shared struggle for survival. The hour was late, the night deep, and Clara's plea echoed in the cosmic expanse. As Astoria held its breath, the cosmic clock ticking ominously, Clara closed her eyes, her mind filled with the echo of her desperate plea. She could only hope that they were not too late, that their efforts would bear fruit, that Astoria and the alien civilization would witness the dawn of survival. The fate of two worlds hung in the balance, the breaking point was near, and the clockwork of the cosmos was ticking, its rhythm a haunting lullaby in the quiet of the impending storm. The wait was agonizing. Time, once a comforting rhythm of life, had morphed into an ominous countdown. As the night deepened, the ethereal mist around Astoria seemed to hold its breath, its eerie dance stilling in anticipation. In the silence of her room, Clara held on to her connection with the alien civilization, her mind a conduit of cosmic energy. And then it happened. A surge of energy pulsated through her, a torrent of alien thoughts, emotions, and finally, the information they had been waiting for. With newfound determination, Clara rushed to Dr. Lawson's makeshift lab, the final piece of the puzzle clutched in her mind. The urgency in her eyes ignited a spark of hope in the exhausted teen. Together, they worked through the night, their hands and minds moving in a symphony of purpose. As dawn approached, the town of Astoria gathered around the stellar gate. The energy in the air was almost too much to take, a blend of fear, anticipation, and an unspoken prayer. Clara stood at the heart of it all, her eyes reflecting the determined spirit of her town, of her newfound cosmic kin. And then, as the first ray of the sun painted the sky in hues of pink and orange, they activated the stellar gate. A dazzling display of light unfolded, the energy pulsing through the gate, reaching out to the dying star in a bid for survival. Clara's message, their collective plea, shot across the cosmic expanse. The gate stayed active, a beacon of hope amidst the morning mist. The townsfolk watched in awe, their hearts pounding in unison. Yet, as they looked on, something unexpected began to happen. The ethereal glow didn't dim as they anticipated, but instead brightened, illuminating Astoria with an otherworldly radiance. Suddenly, figures began to emerge from the pulsating light of the gate, their silhouettes shifting and shimmering as they crossed over from their dying world. The crowd gasped, stepping back as the interdimensional beings touched down onto the soil of Astoria. Silence fell upon the town, the sight of the alien beings bringing even the bravest hearts to a still. Clara's connection with the alien civilization flooded with a flurry of alien thoughts and emotions, the urgent plea for help now replaced by a strange sense of arrival. In the quiet of the dawn, Astoria held its collective breath, the air filled with a tension that was almost unbearable. The townsfolk looked on, their faces reflecting a myriad of emotions, awe, fear, and a hint of uncertainty. Clara stood amidst them, a young girl who had bridged two worlds, now face to face with the civilization she had strived to save. Astoria found itself on the precipice of a new reality. As the sun rose higher, marking the beginning of a new day, the town was no longer the quiet, isolated community it had once been. Their lives had forever changed, the ordinary town now forever linked to the cosmos and its inhabitants. Yet, amidst the cosmic echoes and the alien visitors, they remained the warm, resilient community that looked out for one another. They had faced the unimaginable and were now on the brink of the unknown. As they moved forward, they carried with them the knowledge of their role in the universe, the understanding of how deeply they were connected to the cosmic tapestry, and the question that loomed in everyone's mind. Were these new creatures friend or foe? And there you have it, listeners. An ordinary town, an extraordinary journey, a young girl bridging two worlds, and an entire community drawn into a cosmic dance. Cosmic Echoes, Stellar Intrusion II was indeed a tale of horror and wonder. As we leave the stars behind and come back to our earthly domain, Remember, no matter how alone you might feel, the cosmos is closer than you think. Join us next time for another dive into the depths of terror and intrigue. Until then, sweet dreams. This is our Scary Stories signing off for tonight.